one that we concern.
The platform door open, and that's not Youth Dem Voice program. Where the democracy they bring for you from Monday 4 to 5 o'clock afternoon.
Outside civil society group them. We don't they tin up for young people them. Go tell you how far policy maker them. Don't they go for CC, then do thing them where them they say then they do for young people.
Sef, you go hear from policy maker them how the youth them Sef, you go hear from policy maker them how the youth them condition they na the country.
So join the young people them as you go know waiting then they say because na youth them voice. You dey feel like youth them not get way for talk and ask question. You dey feel like young people talk not can go far. Or you want waiting we can talk now we get to or attire base them. Let it reach the one that we concern.
The platform door open, and that's not Youth Dem Voice program. Where the democracy they bring for you from Monday 4 to 5 o'clock afternoon.
Outside civil society group them. We don't they tin up for young people them. Go tell you how far policy maker them. Don't they go for CC, then do thing them where them they say then they do for young people.
Sef, you go hear from policy maker them how the youth them condition they na the country.
So join the young people them as you go know waiting then they say because na youth them voice.
Well, one for say good evening and welcome to the program. It's Dem Voice where they come to you from the Society for the Democracy 98.1 FM every Monday 4 to 5 on different issues and where they affect the life of young people in the country. And where they bring the program come to you this Monday evening. My name na Chengno Jalo. And today young program will look at the promise we President Bill will make inside the 2023 election. Say inside the next 5 or so years they will make sure saying government create about 500,000 jobs for people across the country. So today now the topic for today young program It's Dem Voice where they look at issues where they affect the life of young people. And for me discuss this particular topic today, we get to tune at the studio more like Conte when a civil society organization policy we don't monitor the issues of young people over the past years. Welcome to the program more like Conte. Okay, we will join shortly, but we will take this break quick and come back and we start with the discussion at the program.
You dey feel like youth them not get way for talk and ask question. You dey feel like young people talk not can go far. Or you want waiting we can talk now we get to or attire base them. Let it reach the one that we concern.
The platform door open, and that's not Youth Dem Voice program. Where the democracy they bring for you from Monday 4 to 5 o'clock afternoon.
Outside civil society group them. We don't they tin up for young people them. Go tell you how far policy maker them. Don't they go for CC, then do thing them where them they say then they do for young people.
Sef, you go hear from policy maker them how the youth them condition they na the country.
So join the young people them as you go know waiting then they say because na youth them voice.
Welcome back to the program. It's Dem Voice where they come to you from the Society for the Democracy 98.1 FM every Monday 4 to 5 even 10 on issues where they affect the life of young people. Like I don't tell you earlier on the program in case you just join me, you listen to It's Dem Voice where they come to you from a broadcasting house in New Englandville. I'm going to bring the program come to me. My name is Chengno Jalo. I'm a studio guest today for a particular topic when at the status of the 500,000 job we President Bill promise young people. Now more like Conte and in the Secretary General for the Consortium for Good Governance, Human Rights and Democracy. I've been introduced earlier on the program. Welcome again for you, which was the journey. Welcome again, Mr. Molai.
Thank you and for having me. And the people already listen. I'm happy for there and thank you for having me.
Okay, so let me run through the topic quick. I mean, after the or before the 2023 election, part of President Bain campaign promise that will provide 500,000 jobs for people, more especially young people in the country. Almost 2 or so years down the line, what's an assessment so far as organization in the work around young people business all this while?
Yeah, I think before I answer directly the question, from we own findings, what we realize is the 500,000 job now like a target where the president sets, I think during the manifesto. And from what I understand from the chief minister and many of the government, sources, then they tell you say in fact the aim is that 2030, and at the targets 2030. But along the line, we find out also that even the chief minister, Mr. Senge, don't they tell we say they don't give job up to 2 million. In fact, he said that you don't surpass the 500,000. But that not the government they inside. And many sectors of government go tell you say they don't create job. Various sectors in government, ministries and department. But the reality is no. That particular one from we own verified sources. You look at the World Bank, where they have the Help by Youth program in Sierra Leone. They will tell you now a big challenge will not reach that particular 500,000 where the president promised. The United Nations Development Fund themselves, the sources will tell you say no, and even someone that independent sources them will tell you we are far from the reality of that promise. So, and even the president, I think in his speech, he did mention that's now a big challenge where they work towards. So, for say we don't get 500,000 or get close to that, no, I don't think that's a real.
You quote the minister or the chief minister say the government, I mean, don't get 2 million job already. But if we didn't the program now, you question that one day, wouldn't that the basis where you stand on? Wouldn't that the basis where you on?
Well, the basis now that when people they serve government, especially in Africa, I would say, and in most parts of the world, I'll not just say Africa, you find out they always talk or say praises about the governments and work, because they are looking at it like for come out boldly and say this now the fact it will be a challenge to the government. This not be a fine promise where young people they welcome, but the reality is verified independent sources no. And in fact, one big challenge we I find out even the World Bank and the other international NGOs, one major challenge we then say Sierra Leone for try get a particular mechanism where they report accurately as to the number of young people where they don't employ. But this all is mere like speculating. We could all reach this amount. We could all do this. They will tell you about the agriculture for young people, the youth employment scheme. These are all fine areas then for young people to get a job. But the 500,000 target is far fetched. The government not able to reach them up till now. And this it cuts across. You get young people who they come out university, you understand, forget job up till now, then they struggle. Okay, you look at the one that we forget skills and able to get job. These are some of the issues. When you talk with experts, the economists, then at the World Bank, and also the United Nations Development Programs, they will tell you that when it comes to employment, even we economy not able to give you that 500,000 job as the president promised. And I get sources. Why they talk out of even though I give you the World Bank report of 2025. You understand? The World Bank report, in fact, waiting on one of the suggestions. Now that if the economy they do well, just imagine this is a conditional statement, like if the economy they do well, waiting we require at least 750,000 new jobs to be created annually. You get the point? So first and foremost, let's check if the economy is doing well, because the economic report of the World Bank also is a big challenge for the country. That we economy they in a very serious shape. You understand? In fact, a crisis, they call them like a crisis. Employment crisis. So if we're in an employment crisis, forget 500,000 jobs is not easy. Because you look at the economy, you employ people, you get to pay them. You get to get all the basic facilities where they need. So basically, if we economy be to do well, for the top of every year, not just 1 year, because we know we will give 500,000 jobs inside 1 year. But they look at like every year, if the economy will do well, at least 75,000 annually how for the look at like projection, which we not able get.
Your analysis, it means say this not direct job way for come up from government or government can able for like open the space for make private sector and come invest and give job to
Fantastic.
Sierra Leoneans them.
So that's the point again. According to even the report, I like for refer because I don't want just to give me your opinion. The report also talk about we lack what they call vibrant private sector activity. So if we attract the private sector and it's vibrant, it's working, then it will able government in targets will likely be achieved. So it's not just about government, but it's about also the private sector, how the private sector will able for boom. And the private sector currently is not booming, right? The private sector also gets serious problem. Even when you talk about the issues there, we talk about limit access to finance, land. And all they talk about job, there are other factors, underlying factors. Electricity, 24 hour for the end of the country. Because this again, they attract private sector. You know that. Like on your own business owner, they run here. Yeah? If lights go, you get forget standby generator. So again, private sector, then they look at different things. Them way they attract them for can invest. So electricity is still a challenge, though we understand that MCC will soon address part of it. But we are saying, if we economy is not doing well, if certain things them like land, access to land, is still an issue. You understand? Access to finance is still also another problem. So there are many other things. You look at the private sector for let it boom. These are some of the things that foresee the government as well as the partners them get for work towards by ensuring that even the ICT, the internet, they get to be strong. People they look at all this because they attract private sector.
Just 2 years upon the re-election of President Bunai make this statement. If 2 years, on the space of 2 years, we still, in your words, we still did beyond for achieve the 500,000 jobs by 2030 or so. You think say the president or the one they write the manifesto, not be the foresee this or not just political statement that we make?
Well, Sierra Leone gets a history of I would say almost all the political party then. We don't do in this country, the both APC and SFP. When it comes to the manifesto they write and well. Yeah? And it's like a market, like business, for attract the customers. And the voters were attracted, you understand? So they go, they vote. But to the reality, when they take over power, by the time they will tell you about global problems, you know, there are a lot of issues, even for revenue generation at domestic level. They're going to tell you, say, will they get problem for raised revenue? You understand? They will tell you about other malpractices where they hinder, you know, the chances for letting get more people into job. Okay, but again, this is where we can say we all get a duty for play, even the journalists. They all in them manifesto, your own, they do interview and this. We want for society leaders then for they tell we practically how they go solve them problem here, because most time they just come and declare, as I is just like Madam Zana said when they talk on social media. You understand? Then people then dance and sing, and at the end of the day, they say this party don't can launch a manifesto. Not thorough, no sober question, and not the way they ask them. Even when you go to debates, some of the leader they find out say they dodge debates them because they know say people then go ask them grinding questions. You understand? Because this is it. When it comes now to implementation, you for the fence solution, not to tell we that this not because the one like you say the one who write the manifesto forget foresight. Therefore don't see long say this kind of thing go hinder we statement the way they make, because manifesto now like contracts you and the people who they go vote, and if you not perform well, then not for sign you again, because if you not do it in you're supposed to do. That's how you therefore hold you accountable. So manifestos, the most times so politicians don't present as Sierra Leone, they not go according to them. rather than go look for excuse, boku reason why they're not able to meet up.
From that time to now, we don't see increment in the forces. Then at the Salon police, the military, for our force, another one them so far in the prison. We also don't see they don't recruit teachers them. We also don't see they don't recruit nurses them, and plenty other professions and from government side. This not include the one them with the private sector or higher. We are still not convinced say government at least if you're able to achieve the 500,000 job like the year.
Well, for convince we is one, but the reality is another thing. Because when you look at even the government, their own side, the labor and that of the social security, let's just tell you what them say, according to what I realize the labor side. Then they tell you that yes, then self don't contribute, they don't employ people, they don't enroll a lot of people like you say into different jobs. Okay, but you find out say even at that, according to labor ministry, as at 2023 to 2024, then it's about 147,343 jobs where they say created between 2023 and 2024. Okay, let's take it say we'll not question that it still not reach the 500,000 jobs, right? It's about 100,000 when it's we say the labor ministry try for capture something, like a data for tell we. And it contradicts that of the chief minister. Sometimes they make a statement like, we don't even get up to 2 million jobs across. Okay? And if further they contradict, waiting the president himself say, now just a target for 2030. So all this, you find out, say, we not get a credible data on the employment. And when you come to sources that way better now, like World Bank, like you go to United Nations Development Fund, then will tell you, say, well, though government they say ABC, but the reality is that there are problems in employment. And the employment not just for employ. The economy now the benchmark for the employment. You cannot employ when you no get money. You know what I mean? You're not able for employ when money no dey. Now money for the force, then you employ. So the economy, if you not do well, na common logic. Once the economy is in a deplorable situation, then it means you cannot employ.
The chief minister in several engagements, they don't make the claim say the government don't give work to 2 million people. You have talked that at the start of the program.
Yeah.
Was that thing say the minister or the chief minister rely on, or what not the figure we get, or say he get the figure for say this? If you question say,
well, I think as now government person, now more of the government sources. You understand? Although you're not there, because I know sound like a bully, though you're not there, but the reality is that then they talk from the point of a politician trying to win more votes and trying to convince the people. But the reality, my brother, is that independent sources, then they say not that the government either makes some move in how you call them the youth employment scheme, even the NICOM project. Okay, the National Youth Commission project, all this, and World Bank even they partner with the Ministry of Youth for create more jobs, ICT, innovations, initiatives, them, all that then they create. But the target here, we're not able to reach this target. Okay, and we economy is tied to employment. Employment tied to the economy. I think we get to know that. And even to some extent, people they even debate around the university curriculum. Waiting with the offer, waiting with students they will come out university, waiting then will come for we give them job. These are all issues. How do we revisit the educational sector in terms of looking at contemporary times? Waiting the world they look for. We will make you as you come out you get job. Liberalize the educational side, just as the economy. Okay. So all these are debates around it, and when in reality, if we put the politician force aside and look at the realistic thing, and above all, me and you know say the young people again, apart from whether you are educated or not, the drugs don't kind affect them seriously. We may this drug issue.
Okay.
So it's another serious problem affecting the young people.
If government, they say they don't give work to 2 million people to the chief minister's office, we just say, una organization or US that they say this not rich. What are your statistics they show?
Well, roughly, would they give figures? Would they talk about like, let's say, I don't give one just no once I can just accept because at least my government institution. But waiting and provide here, we can take and say 176,000 ways where the labor ministry then the project say and don't create within 2023 to 2024. Don't say accept that, okay, without too much like putting on debate. But the point here is how many more young people in the end that will not get job? Then Boku. May you know when you go to a tire base, when you go out in the streets, when you go, even now you area self, your community, you see young people them where they're supposed to be the backbone for Saloy economy. You they see them sit down 24 hours. Not that they know how work. Some people can say they're idle, not so idle. If they reach America today, they reach England today, then they go work, then they find job. May you know. Most of we colleague them, we take temple run in those days, they run go. By the time you know it, then tell you say don't call 90 and bill so 90. Damn how you they say hi to Robin Sidon. When he take the risk, he cross, he go reach na Europe. He go find job. Even when snow they for the find job. So they are not idle. The point here is young people in the Sidon area them, they're not all they take drugs, not all they pan kusho. No. Some of them just sit down because you go find job, you go drop your application, then go tell you so we'll call you back, but vacancy not there. You go again somewhere, they say okay, can't drop you form, then go ask you question, they were not relevant. You understand? Some side again, they will even ask you for political party card. You get party card, go find a party card. So all this makes some man can just say, but you know, till I sit down first. So that points the way then sit down, no me say that I do.
Okay.
You understand? And we get the one them we totally then don't give up. They say they take to drugs like cool themselves off where they affect them greatly.
If we go by what you say, they say through the Ministry of Employment, Labor and Social Security, say he said the last 2 years they able to create about 160 something thousand jobs for the people of Salone. You know things say 3 or more years to come, they're going to be able to like cover the gap with them promise.
Well, I think if realistically we go by this and let's say 2 or 3 more years, they do the same thing, they go reduce the number of unemployment. But don't forget again, as I tell you, the economy for be attracted. The private sector for also vibrant. And how the private sector will be vibrant now when we get basic things, then they attract private investment. Electricity for be stable. We forget an environment where people in the feel safe and free for can invest. You understand? Place where the bank then they work, the ATM then for be functional. Not to when somebody after 4 or 5 o'clock you go, the ATM machine gets problem. You know, a lot of things we now minor thing them is same. You know, we need for just get thorough commitments and policy on them. We go make the private sector self go be like attractive. So these are all the things them we go help for let young people and get job. People and they get where they argue say, well, what about young people and self for let them create job for themselves? Yes, I agree with you. Some don't do them. Some open their own business for themselves. Some they do fantastically well. You understand? Then they thrive in their own corner. But again, governments still get a role. Because when people I don't talk with young people already now, they talk now again, when they talk about them, allow talk about them again. The thing I have to do with young people, then they don't create job for themselves. They don't use the initiative. But then the tax where government can levy against them against is so heavy. That's why they shut down. Because they say, but I don't go college, give me job. Me don't care, I don't create job for myself. Then don't can now, then can't give me heavy tax and this. It closed down. So government self get for find a way for cushion them, for help the one the way creative, where they make job for themselves. Let you get some kind of a mechanism for like cushion them burden.
Okay. In name Namola Conte and in the Secretary General for this consultant for good governance, human rights and democracy. In the program to talk about the 500,000 jobs and we present bill promise for young people and the people of Salone during the re-election inside the 2023 election. We'll watch out the status of this promise here. So how far it don't come, we don't achieve them or not, or we still get a long way for good. The program when you listen to It's Dem Voice, they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Inside the program now we listen to the perception of the All People's Congress APC party through one panel media possible Abdul Karim him. If we done the Good Morning Salon program this morning and he talk on the position with regards to this particular promise. Let me listen to this instance.
Firstly, job creation at this country. From where you talk till done, just to be talk about statistics. 200,000, blah, 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 blah. You cannot figure one with the non-create. You see, the SLPP government of Julius Maada Bio president believes in propaganda. They shout all over the place and they have nothing to point at. But I tell you this truth. Job creation at this country. Nobody know the day. Me, I know they talk because I feel like talking. Go Regent, go Bramalin, go watch the calots them where them going. Nobody know the day. That tells you they don't even know what the people of this country want. It's zero. A commodity. The young people of this country, the graduates that we don't come out university. In the thousands, see these recent graduations that we don't happen. Do a research. See how many newspapers they do advertisements for job. Ask me who said these graduates then and they absorb them into the system. Nowhere. They are in their thousands. They don't turn their entire basis offices. They don't go spend years in the university for study with good degrees. We can able to contribute meaningfully to the country. But they are nowhere to be adopted into the system. They don't make the country to the extent that my dad was here justifying the answers in this country. Where almost all everybody at the answer family don't become an ambassador. He justified it. Ask how many Bokaris, how many Kuruma, how many Banguras don't come to university to no get job. I'm not preaching tribalism here. But I'm talking about the reality. How many hundreds of students them, university graduates them, would they loom the streets of the Freetown, jobless? Some don't even embark into drug and drug addiction. What they make prevalence is drugs. Kush. Easily accessible. Me papa they talk now, but somebody where they harvest 20,000 bags of rice, blah blah blah. Sierra Leone don't begin the ask now, say we cannot settle for baby steps. Let us move from what we call subsistence farming to mechanized farming.
The program we listen to now, it's Dem Voice. They come to you from every Monday 4 to 5, even 10 more different issues and way they affect the life of young people. And today inside the program, we look inside the promise where President Baby make inside 2023 election, say, and government will make sure say they provide 500,000 jobs for people in the country within 5 or so years. So come 2 years down the line, we assess this particular campaign promise, and for do this assessment proper one, we get to tonight the studio more like content in a civil society organization person. We don't talk so much on the this promise here, so but we President Baby make, and for more like in the question that one they say government really need for do more if they will catch up with that promise there. And the inside we just hearing na APC position on the promise side through the community, through the communications, posting at the communications department or office na APC, ANC government not sincere with this particular promise. As in say the car wash and other projects and where government been start for young people for get work, still they on but no they work proper. We come to get more like content with the insert we just listened to from that APC end of the day. What now it take with regards to that one day? I think APC self the judge the government sincerely or then self they play politics for this conversation.
Well, I think the opposition self they give their opinion, but again the same thing borders on statistics. Sierra Leone we need what we call accurate statistics, because when government in a power and they make projections, they make promises. If you bash at them or they criticize them, they find for low reference. Yeah, because the time they don't pass, we would criticize maybe out of sentiment, maybe out of party politics. Party politics, if you forget what you call evidence. Like I try for do small reading in my library in a youth program. So I try for get at least something where they show say this now waiting the ministry they tell we say then get. This now waiting World Bank where they support most of the projects where young people they need cash for work, what you call grants, waiting and self they talk because they self now partners, in development with government. And but they not go take government in own stand. Then go give their own credible reports. So also very important, even the opposition, a very good for letting they do their research. So when you criticize the government said they no say, so I not give way for escape. Yeah. So I think the political opinion there, I respect the brother there. I respect your opinion, Mr. AKK. But I think it's more based on the political opinion. But if you look at what they bring here, and you look at the government in projection, and even in partners, and they tell you say, not to immediate program, because even though the government want to make like Alex in an immediate 500,000, but the projection here is almost like 2030 projection. Then the question is President Bio or the SLPP government going to be there till 2030? Or are we now in that particular situation where then can level to call a blueprint? Whatever party come, go scrapping comping program. You understand? Because na so civilized and advanced country than they do. Once now for the interest of the public, you can left what to call a blueprint. Whatever party come, then for go by that blueprint. But we see when President Bio scrap some of the programs of the previous government. So what now the tendency say, even this 500,000 job projection, next other government will cannot go scrap them and say no, not to this weekend power. Weekend power another thing. So then projection here, if you want to make an immediate, let me know within this period to this period, what is Sierra Leoneans then go get. Because now about public accountability. When you make promises, this is what we are doing now. We are evaluating, we are assessing whether waiting President Bio promise we don't give you up. So this now the issue. The government don't tell we about many other programs, and this particular one, a day among what we call the big five, no, so big five game changers. So if it is among the big five game changer, it means na priority projects. So we want to know how much government don't put efforts for create jobs, and with the private sector, like we rightly say, not just the government, but the government and they create the environment. Now they create the opportunities so that private sector themselves go come on board. We look at the public works, even the green public work. They get the green public work program, where again a World Bank funded program for plant trees, garbage collection. Young people then put there. How much of the people then really employ there? The car wash program, how many young people then capture? We're not still able to get that 500,000.
Okay, continue for looking at the program. Also, we take this other perception, or the statement from the government spokesman, the presidential spokesman, when Alpha Khan and they talk directly for the president. And the president now make this statement inside re-election inside 2023. Let me listen to what in know or in what in believes the government don't do when it comes to job creation so far. Same way to talk this at the Good Morning Salon program.
Job creation is a direction. It is not an end point. The government and President Bio will provide the strategies how to create jobs. You open up agriculture. I was listening to you on the news when you said that the Minister of Agriculture just said that there's $5 million through FSRP and Dr. Come. Sorry, not just Come. They had been able to no, it's not, LACO, they have been able to distribute $5 million to about 61 groups for agriculture. And I know about that because I saw the impact of some of the groups that benefited from that. I saw a single individual who was able to acquire 13 tractors and 3 harvesters. Unfortunately, some parts of his farm were burned about 2 days ago by people just smoking cigarettes and throwing it away. Because he's been harvesting since the beginning of November and he's still harvesting. Last year he had 20,000 bags of rice. This year he's already 60,000. He's aiming for 200,000. This is the kind of impact you make. So when you have people who are ready to work, and this guy He doesn't even live in Sierra Leone. He comes every planting season. He comes and gets involved in agriculture. He started, and agriculture noticed, so they gave him the support, and he's working. He's a professor in America. He's lecturing, but he says every year he comes home at the month of May, April, May, to come and cultivate the area, work with these people. So I am saying that people need to join government to develop. So you're asking me whether the human capital development and the job creation for us. We don't have factories in Sierra Leone. We don't have institutions that can employ 400,000 or 500,000 people. We don't have them. The biggest institution that we have to employ people is the farm. Go there and work.
So how much job government don't create through the farm?
Government don't empower people to create jobs. I've just told you about how government helps people to go into agriculture. Where he comes from, I think it's coming. It's an agrarian society. It's an agrarian district. Most people, you go into the villages now, today, 9 o'clock, they are not in the houses. They are not in the villages. They're out there in the farm. They are employed. Employ themselves. It's self-employment. When they say employment, not just that. But look at the case of the Okada riders. Look at the case of Okada riders. They are self-employed. 1.2 million of them. They train themselves. They're providing a service. They're employing themselves. They're having a livelihood. So government provides the direction. I was at the university, Magai Technical University, when the government launched a project to take some of the Okada riders, to be able to learn skills where they can be certificated, to have a life after, so that they can, with the point about employment.
How government they give direction in employment when the bike where you make mention of where they employ large number of young people and they go up every day, and the license of even the bike they go up every day. How is that possible for use that kind of scheme they we bike now na 24 million?
Well, the bike not your head and they make them. You buy in India.
Government is subsidized.
Government will subsidize you for go buy motor car. Come on, man. Which kind of government is that? Tell me which government in England or America supplies people to make you go buy bike or motor car. No, man. No. Reduce tax, yes, where it is possible. Where it is not possible, government has to have a revenue. When you have a revenue, you are able to manage your budget. That's the kind of thing we're doing. We must increase revenue. That is why you can see inflation going down to 5.6%, over 50 percentage points. So this is what is happening. 1.2 million young people are already in employment by themselves. So this is what we are encouraging people to do. Government is providing direction and encouraging them. They are giving them certificates now from university for tailoring for the women,
continue for the
for mechanics,
continue for the
for electricians and things like that. After bike riding, there's a life for them.
The program we listen to now, it's Dem Voice. It comes to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM, and that voice they be listening to now Alpha Khan. They be talking about the Good Morning Salon program on behalf of the president. What routine the presidents don't do when it comes to job creation for people, especially young people in the country. And this fitting to the young program today, Youth Dem Voice, as well they assess the 500,000 job we present to be promised during a re-election inside the 2023 elections. We get at the studio, it seems also more like Conte. We don't develop much on this issue. Can't you get Mr. Conte? You don't hear what the presidential spokesman say. In fact, he say like 1,200 jobs, 1,200,000 jobs, and the chief minister say 2 million. And he also point out areas in which government able for create job for people. Who is to be believe here?
So you see, this not the problem we they ask about this, the possibility of the source. We also they get with source, credible source. Follow talk about the 500,000 job created. When politicians talk, then they protect them party. When opposition talk, then they protect their own political opinion and they try to bash at the government. So when a presidential spokesperson or advisor by the name of Alpha Khan, they talk, you find out in most times they talk in the interest of the government. And they protect the government image. One knows that in job that's where they pay for. But the reality is, for 1 minute, we also expect politicians, to be honest, because they are humans and they get relatives, they get people, they get family. You know what I mean? People they tell them about the harsh reality on the ground. We know they select now, SLPP creates them, but the problem has been there. You say they can't solve them, and if you say they can't solve them, people get for always check. Now the public checking this. for know whether you don't solve them or you don't even have for solve them. Because if I listen to Alpha Khan, still they tell we about say one professor and the example where they come out all the way harvest, and they use for tell we say now a success story. I think we're not serious about agriculture. Because if we talk about agriculture and Dr. Alpha Khan, they tell we say people if you go to a village, they don't go right now at the bush for go work. It means that the old system still they tell we about that subsistence farming way. I think KKK said been condemned. Because we say for people and go through that. We grandpa and granny them, oh them in a village, all the morning and go. And this type of farming not ever helps alone. Because as you harvest so, now for solve the problem then. The immediate problem then, some of we, as they harvest so, now for go pay school fee. As you harvest so, now for eat. Even the seed where they keep for next year for plants, you don't take that in the involved panel. That kind of farming they want go by. Oh, they talk about food self-sufficient. Oh, they talk about the big 5 changes. Eh? I don't think that kind of farming they, Mr. Alpha Khan for the tell we about. Because we they look at where machines. One time they will deploy them, they go bring machines, train people there for do better farming. The China, the Taiwan, they rest now we rely on where they come with. See them farming style. They don't come up from them days then they when I be near ox, then they tie, OBN and beats them. No. See, I don't even get on the force. This is not hard labor. People they go butsu and work. Almost one family they work. The whole village when they harvest. How many people are able for really and survive? Now 1 month. After 1 month, angry don't come back now the tongue. They begin call free tongue for saying white rice. Upline. Like in a saloon. So when they talk about serious agriculture where they change the life of everybody, but we self go on for suicide and they export salores. I think it's very, very much serious that we for take seriously. And not the Alpha can talk the way how we feel say the agriculture for take place in Sierra Leone. That way they talk about Okada riders that themselves don't create job for themselves. Yes, we agree. But look at that job. Now that we want for young people, even the bike riding. Not just when they can say a way for late survive at all costs. You get graduates they ride bike. Yes, you go send a form of employment. But every 1 or 2 days we engage for crash, sometimes permanent cripple. You understand? Some man in the hospital, some man get for amputating foot. The police then they run after them from CBD to all over the corner them. Right? So this not a sustainable job, and this not to this kind of job, I think government for create for young people. And even when young people and create for themselves, government for the think for an alternative. Not that kind of job where so risky. Some of them get helmet, some not get helmet. Think about it. It's so dangerous that they expose themselves to what we call risk. If people like people where they mine, not some kind of place where they're not well guided. They go under the tunnel, they take cuts for them. Almost every year we get reports about accidents. May you know. Even Sierra Leoneans themselves, their whole life then jeopardize them because transportation are probably get for manage all kind of you load on top of it. But most times with colleagues, their family, brothers, them they crash. So that kind of job there, I not think that job will the government for capitalize and glad it but because the whole world it cause problem in terms of even traffic. When we go school and say look left, look right before you cross. Now you get for look past different side, all angle, backward, forward, all over sideways because you don't know side bike they come out. We picking and not secure when they cross. So this not the type job. I think where we for the talk about and the presidential spokesman say all man gonna farm and no other job no the way government creates past agriculture now the more. I think I beg for the far. When we talk about 24th century, even digitalization, if we improve on with ICT, it create job for young people. You understand? There are many other sides where government can create job for people. Well, apart from agriculture. Agriculture, yes, now one big side. I'm not denying that too. But for like saying, are they all man for going to farm? I go say Alpha Kani say for going to farm. They all go in at the farm. You understand? But no. We want job for young people in different sectors. And even the exchange programs, I expect for them for the talk about anything in the China, Russia, how they exchange Sierra Leoneans and for go read medicine, how they for go do certain things. Up till now, they struggle with certain professional aspect them at the medicine, the medical side. How many dentists to get? How many people and they are responsible for just multi S on your eye, or nose, or skin? How many professionals? Will they produce more lawyers right now? We have lawyers then, Boku. What about the medical side? You understand? Health workers. How many will not send go? Like kind of use for do the exchange program, then go get more modernized, technology for treat cancer, many other sicknesses. Every day when something happen, they read and say, therefore fly this bus you side, Ghana. Ghana be here there. What's wrong with Sierra Leone? These are all the issues. For create job again, we look at the market. What is relevant for young people? What them for study, what them for hold on to. We get a lot of how you call them? Neurosurgeon. You understand? We get cardiac specialists them. If them boku na salon and then at the village they can lawyer then they go so now all over with boku. You understand? It help the country greatly.
You think that reach a time for make the Ministry of Youth Affairs hold some of the programs that we don't start when the youth in car wash, the youth entrepreneurship, the youth agriculture, the youth in fisheries and other program them and get a whole rethink on how them for able for like bring up programs and more able for cater for more job for young people.
I agree. We think say the youths them we vary, young people them vary, right? Then get certain young people them no matter what you do, now that fishing area we don't go up. Now in believe say now they get in revenue. A sabi we get boat, they go now the sea, they no say they get what they look for. Yeah, we get young people them back where professionally they sabi for do them car wash. Okay, instead of modernize because you get machine there now and then get something like a place where you go where the motor car can even get access for wash them from under and then they wash engine. So and then they get super money, yeah, self-employment or maybe government supported. Okay, and the agriculture side, I think is still a problem because up to now, so they talk, would they debate on the imported rice in price every day now? Would they debate on? And they listen to most times when politicians they argue, how much the rest don't go now? Where rest don't come down, rest don't go up. This they tell you, we even though they talk about the food sufficiency, where would they talk about say how much will they produce now? How much we don't save? Because when you they produce, trust me, if we don't get excess, government may get them facility, then they force the table SLPMB, right? Police marketing board. Then government they buy from people and say, oh, studies for the rain season. Rain season literally, I mean like when things go mona, government gets then thing and they when they save. Say in the long run, we are going to need this rest because now you bokuna the market. Rest can carry flow, then consider rest. Government will keep on. Understand? And see how when the time can not reach, they say, hey, don't short in, then produce at the market. The same with palm oil. They use for getting thing and they, but all the plans and they will not know what's happening with the professionals, the doctors, them for come up with an initiative. We get all the bookman. But for solving problem here back, it's still a problem. Look at the empty carcass of the SLPMB, right? You see them big tank and the way they tell you say, now them they keep palm oil, now them they keep this. What happen will not able to get again. So I think that there's tier for the look at and say, would they look holistically and get a data as to how many young people they would employ, how many young ladies, how many young guys they may not employ, and that kind of way they, because even when you look at the educational sector now they're able to tell you almost boy picking in a school, almost girl picking in a school. No, so that is good. So what about the employment? We want to see who will get a proper scheme where we go get a source where anybody want doubt, go to the internet, you Google, you check, say, oh yes, look at this source, it's credible. Now this source, but look at how the source they always you don't give here, you don't do interview. All man they blow you on. Either than they blow them out of proportion or then they bring them down small. So all man they play you on in the name of satisfying the power. And if we continue to satisfy the power, well, while the power in people they will vote for them, they suffer, we're not ready for solve the problem. So the people and I more we for try for satisfy with reality and realistic figure. Where one person will employ our host, it will take care of 3-4 other sisters and brothers, and even the home. It will tell you say yes, we get person where they work, then take on one side, they work on one farm. You understand? They work on this poultry. So a lot of things in the way I think we government need for doing in terms of data information. People then go get credible access, not to just number where you just they blow. And when you blow it, they make the people then vex because the reality then they feel them.
Okay, away from government creating the job for young people or Sierra Leoneans in general, you know, things say what now you take with regards to providing the platform. Government not necessarily go mean say they go employ all man, but for the opportunity they for make young people we get idea, bring create job for themselves or private sector them come and invest and create job for people. What now you take with regards to this space?
I think government need for enhance the environment again because I dey refer you again to the report, the World Bank report. The World Bank report in recommendations. Now one of the things and that's what they talk about. Governments need for create an environment where we go strengthen the private sector for let boom, right? And even for let young people access money. Up till now, a problem. Graduates then they're not able to go trust even 2,000 euros na bank, right? Least you talk about you go for 100,000 or so. The collateral and many other things, so then go ask them for. So how do we make Sierra Leoneans where at least you know you don't go university or you don't go learn a job? No left university, so no left the bookman inside. This man get garage, na fita, you know, a credible na Sierra Leonean. How we were able for make lane safe access loan na bank? We were able for can run that place and employ 10, 20 other people. These are some of the things. So that financial access is still a problem. And then how government for boost the private sector so that they get fair competition in the liberal markets, that competitiveness. Where nobody no go feel like say, oh, this company and the private interest or this company and a government interest over the other company. Because as some of the things they drive some company, they already care. If they find out, say, a minister or somebody where then a government, it gets in private business where they run, then a private person will come, really for can run your own business, genuinely economics and politics, when I begin undermine, they wrap up, you go. Because you're not going to able that competition there. The competition will be very, very unfair. So you need that. Now I make even Sierra Leone Constitution one strictly that presidents and then structured and enough for even get private business. You understand? Because if government, let's say president gets big company, let's say for manufacture mobile phone, then me come, me say 1 million. And it's similar to the business way they are go able the competition, no? You see? And even when they award contracts to private sector, to people, then for also look at the person we get the capacity, the genuine person we be able for help Sierra Leone. Not only they go tell the border, go register one company quick. One for begin to bidding. These are some of the things really affect the country and growth. Right? You know say you border not get the capacity. You know say no, you not go even meet the procurement threshold. But if they push a leg go do them, then you can influence the panel. And at the end of the day, you award on the contract. Outside salon they go. Well, that is solve the problem. So enhance the fiscal, structure. Very, very important. The infrastructure, all anything and we talk about electricity. Very, very key in 21st century business. Any Southside electricity, it is suffer from that epilepsy, right? It go and come. Trust me, investors are afraid for good. Because just one big company, what they imagine when we don't do me research, they can at this country and employ up to 1,000 or 2,000 people. But guess what? In your own electricity, where they use no more, sometimes they supply the one city, Freetown. So have Freetown go there. So you need for expand the electricity and for being reliable and dependable. Because if you talk about megawatts, how much Freetown they get, then this my own company need more than waiting Freetown they get. How we go get sober? You see, even Alpha can talk, it says Salon get industry, we not get BB company there, and it's true. We not get BB companies where go employ people, and BB companies for Kaya. This now some of the things they look at. Electricity, is it sustainable? Is it dependable? Because some company then they immediately gets 1 hour blackout or 30-minute blackout. You don't damage them. A big loss, financial loss. Would I they go put in a court? Would I they bring them for take liability for that? So these are the issues. And even when we look at revenue generation, we dey raise revenue fine for the country, but how young people can go benefit from this revenue? Very important. So we dey look at all that. Last but not the least, I think I for Rob Morton, even the fuel subsidy. Young people, they don't raise hell about it. Though they send a World Bank some of their own policy. But look at how young people themselves again they constrain and they go through a lot. If a young person don't go into business, give a transport in markets from upline to Freetown. If government self one for like I tell you for soften that and cushion the effect, the economic effect on that young person, we don't decide for doing your own business. One thing at this subsidy, the fuel subsidy.
Okay.
They're not for remove them. When they remove them, it affects the young people. It affects the economy back. The World Bank then gets all this them policy. Yes, it's good, it's nice. But again, most times the third world countries, World Bank then policy they're not so helpful. So government for getting your own plan where yes, they work with their partners, but for push them plan here for let you make people realize what you promise them.
Okay.
That's the point.
Plenty thank you to you. More like Kanu Conte, we na the Secretary General for the Consortium for Good Governance, Human Rights and Democracy for joining the program today. Youth Dem Voice. We will talk about the status of the 500,000 jobs and we President Bibi promise for young people and Sierra Leoneans generally. The program now Youth Dem Voice and I also will bring the program to an end for today. Plenty thank you to the production team. Michael Sambola produced the program with support from Ademi Jackson, Mary Kamara Bangura, make una watch live now Facebook page, and DJ Songa make give you technical support to make una able forget to be live on the frequency on 98.1 FM. We bring the program country to the new name na Chegno Jalo.